Hello there. It's time for the intro. One more shot, 'cause I love you. I gotta get the volume thing on that right because sometimes it sounds adequate and sometimes it sounds too loud. Anyway, a little wake up call with music. So, the big burning question today is what's wrong with you? It's a good question, right? It's a great question. Some of you wake up wondering. Some of you go to sleep, actually try to go to sleep and can't go to sleep because you're asking yourself that question and you don't know how to answer it. You're like, what's wrong with me and why can't I get it together? Then there's those of you who never ask the question. And that's kind of a shame. Kind of, but not really. Because it's not asking or not asking the question. It's really a matter of that you're asking the wrong question. Because here's the answer. What's wrong with you is nothing. Nothing is wrong with you. You were born in absolute innocence and perfection. And the world has messed with you a bit. People around you have messed with you a bit. And the problem is as an adult, you're still letting the world mess around with you and you're still letting the world dictate what's wrong with you. I mean, some of you are living in these situations, relationships where, you have people who are just telling you what to do and criticizing you all the time. And you think that's normal because you think you deserve it. And then there's those of you who are in these jobs that are like, oh, I can't leave because I have this going on or that going on, or I need the money. And you have a hypercritical, micromanagerial boss who's also just up your you know what. So, what's wrong with you? Nothing. What could be challenging? What could be something for you to look at? What could be things that recur in your life that require you to have greater self awareness and greater consciousness? Those are better questions to be asking. Because the ego driven person who never looks at anything that's going on as challenging or difficult thinks that the whole world is at fault, thinks that everything happening is somebody else's problem. And conversely, the person who actually wallows in self pity and thinks everything is their fault is just as self centered as the person who thinks nothing is their fault. So it's like the same side, excuse me, it's like different sides of a coin. Both of them are peppered with massive amounts of ego and self pity, but the person who's asking the question all the time about what's wrong with them is actually more of a martyr, and the other person is more of a perpetrator. So that's the difference, or the sameness, or the uniqueness. Either way, they're driven by fear, blocks, ways of like keeping the world out so that you don't really have to look at what's happening with numero uno right here. Right here, right now, what's going on in your mind, your body, and in your thoughts and feelings is the most important thing happening, and yet it's not. See, because when you're balanced and you have purpose and you know who you are and what's happening, then who you are is directly interconnected to the people around you, but in a healthy way. So in other words, you will, in fact, bounce off of and interact with other people, but you won't do it in this way that's critical of self, critical of them, constantly looking at what's wrong, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be managed. I mean, let's face it, the world is full of massive control freaks, people who spend every waking moment trying to control everything around them, and worse yet, trying to control and fix themselves to some degree, when there may not even really be anything wrong with them, but there's that hyper critic, that perfectionist in you that's like chirping away at every ounce of your self-esteem and making your world just incessantly dark. And it doesn't have to be like that. There's a way for you to build a foundation of proper self awareness, proper self examination, understanding of power both inside you and in systems around you, how to balance it out, where and when to spend time going within, and where and when to spend time going without, whether that's being extroverted and interacting with other people or expressing yourself uniquely through creativity. And then the inner stuff is about the quiet, it's about the stillness, it's about know thyself. It's about meditative times, whether that's just flowing and moving, maybe like in an ocean, or sitting still. But you need that balance because you want to find and come back to the place of you being pure innocence, of you knowing that there's nothing wrong with you, that actually can't be looked at and addressed without fear and without fixing. right? Everybody has challenges. We're all imperfect. No matter what we were born into, life has made us imperfect. Life has made us fallible. And I know for myself, in the foundation of my coaching and in my own life, I need to look at myself with healthy boundaries. I can't be a hypercritic. I cannot allow myself to be perfectionistic. I can't be defending myself to the world. I need to know myself, and I need to live from that place with a higher self and a higher power and some sort of foundation of principles that allow me to live with you and allow me to live with me. So that's the thought today on nothing's wrong with you, nothing's wrong with you, nothing's wrong with you. You also might need to get busy on looking at some of those things that keep bothering you, people. It's not going to get any better if you ignore it. And the pandemic has only made it worse because it left you alone with your demons. Ooh, ciao.